So, well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Wow, that looks like a little bit low. Everybody hear me? I need to know that because I had a problem here with the audio. Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Wow, that looks like a little bit low. Let's see, close that. I think it's down really low, though. Let's see, oops. You hear tiny voices. Okay, hold on. That was the reason why this took so long, is because there was a input and an output problem. Let's see. Okay, can anybody hear me now? Barely. Okay. We hear nicely. Well done. Okay, so we'll see how this goes, because me and this voice meter thing here just having a real bad part of a time here. So this is what I got going on here. Hold on a second here. I gotta make it so I can't hear this, because that's a little annoying. Okay. All right. So happy Turkey Day, everybody. For those of you who celebrate it, and unfortunately, I'm over here in Germany, and it's not really a big thing over here. So, I got well. Speaking of round, featherless, meaty objects with no head, today, well, a couple of times this week, I've been pointed at to a Mr. Thrive and Survive video, and I love it. I really love it when flat earthers say that we don't do research, and yet the research already exists in the flat earth community that debunks some stupidity that some of these guys actually talk about. So yeah, Onishies. Alicia. But so Mr. Thrive and Survive decided he was going to come out with a video. It was called well, it has to do with the see, now I closed the damn window. Hold on a second. My bad. The history, come on, go to history, which has to do with the eclipse that we all saw last year, and how he doesn't think shadows work. And so this is the hold on a second. Yes, okay. This is the video I'm talking about. NASA debunks itself. NASA hoax. Orbital mechanics bust. First, let me point out a little bit of buzzwording going on here. While orbital mechanics is the reason why the moon actually orbits the Earth, orbital mechanics has absolutely nothing to do with the moon casting a shadow. Absolutely nothing. Okay, it's not even close. It's not even in the same arena. It's not something that has to do with anything other than uh, the speed and distance relationship of two different objects and the shadow being cast. Okay, has nothing to do with orbital mechanics. Orbital mechanics has to do with why the moon is there in the first place and why it orbits. Okay, and at what speed, or well, excuse me, not at what speed, but at what distance it stays away due to the force of gravity, etc., like that. But he absolutely wants to say that, he uses the word orbital mechanics probably about 15 times in this short little video, and I find that hysterical. So, I just wanted to go over a couple of things. Okay, the first 3 or 4 minutes in here, it's basically him saying that everybody's lying to him, and then he plays a 2-minute video here from, who was this? Voice of Reason, who actually draws out why the shadow goes from west to east on a globe. He draws it out in crayon, which I thought was fucking hysterical. And he plays the whole video, so got to give him that. So we'll go into this video, and this is probably going to take 7 hours and 43 minutes. For those of you who enjoy counting how much time my videos take. And but first of all, tell me if you can hear this, hear Rich's voice or anybody's voice during this.
Miles per hour, so this overtakes it, and that's why.
Oh, wait, actually, that's actually very light. He's the guy he's playing actually is playing very light. Everybody, please tell me if you can hear Rich's voice right about.
Hey everyone, Rich, Mr. Thrive and Survive, November 14th, 2018. I am in Denver for the Flat Earth Conference. I apologize for the audio differences. I did not bring my microphone here to the conference, so I'm using the one built into my computer, which isn't that good. So we're going to take a look at this right here. This is a blatant, just total either misunderstanding of science, and this guy does videos all the time claiming that we don't
How's
know
that sound? Does
our
that sound like
science.
good?
He left a rather disturbing comment on one of my videos that I just don't understand the moon's motions. So let's take a look at this. Now, this is 2 minutes and 19 seconds. I've cut this down to. And
yeah, there was some wind sound there. That's his entry. So anyway, I'm gonna jump past this. You guys can go ahead and watch this short little presentation. I thought it was pretty cool from Voice of Reason, where he draws out the no, it's a fucktard liar. Turn it off. Okay, so I'm gonna go past this, and but you guys, please go over and watch this. It's a cool little demonstration. So now Rich wants to compare that demonstration to what he believes that NASA is telling him, and he tries to distort it to whatever he wants it to be. Now, hold on a second.
Let's see what NASA actually said about the eclipse and the information they fed to the Washington Post on the August 2017 solar eclipse. See if they say the shadow should go from west to east.
Now, first of all, this right here, I'm so sick of seeing this picture. I really am, and not because of the fact that it doesn't it does anything for flat Earth. This is the little piggy cam. This one's actually reversed, actually, because the little piggy cam, the antenna's on the left side, and this is actually reversed. And this was filmed with a GoPro 3. So go figure on that. The Now he makes fun of the fact that there's this was part of a video that I had seen that was actually put out by the Washington Post, and it was all in the pre-up hype to the 2017 eclipse, and it was just kind of a question and answer in simple form. It makes fun of the fact that somebody reads this out and says "Dear Science," which is basically a neat way of saying I would like to pose a question to the scientific community, but they put it as "Dear Science" just to make it cute. Of course, he actually goes off on a little tirade about "Dear Science" being some kind of a thing, something about him being yes, cherry picking the little piggy footage. Yep. He goes into this little tirade about it. It's fucking hysterical. But and then what you have here is you have somebody who's an astrophysicist, or there's an astrophysicist coming up in a second. This one right here is just she's from the Washington Post, and they're just putting it into a question and answer type thing. And there's plenty of people who if you caught them in a gotcha moment and stuff like that, would probably not be able to answer right off the bat how why it is that the moon goes from west to east, even though Rich has said on multiple occasions that he knows that the moon chases the sun. Okay, so if the moon now it doesn't stop at the sun, of course, but the moon chases the sun according to him, which is an odd way of saying that they traverse the sky at two different speeds, which he forgets about through this entire video. And then let's see. Now this is what I want to show you here. Okay, so ready?
And I'll be answering for science today.
On August 21st, something really exciting is going to happen in the US, a total solar eclipse. This is what happens when the moon passes in front of the sun, and it's going to cast a shadow that travels across the United States.
Okay, now I'm going to be, he doesn't really say anything here, but he puts these comments up here. Now watch this. Now, he says, note how the parallel rays from 93 million miles away suddenly are displayed as if the sun is very close, producing anything but 90-degree angles. What he's talking about is basically here's a moon analog. This is just a digital model. And this shadow right here, which is only representing the umbra of the shadow, he's saying that because these are not parallel, which means making this big of a shadow on the Earth, because they're not parallel, then it must be some kind of trickery, and they don't even get their own shit right. Well, Rich, need I remind you, these are parallel as well. Okay, they're parallel, but these are not representative of an umbra or a penumbra. Okay, they're not. But just figured I'd throw it in there because this is what you're talking about, these lines right here. But let me go ahead and continue. Oops. And then he goes into this picture. He says, note how the parallel rays from 93 million miles away suddenly are displayed as if the sun is very, very close. Well, first of all, this is not showing the sun very, very close. This is just this is a graphic. Okay, we're getting into this is piddly shit that you're talking about here, because if they were to draw a scale image of the sun, the moon, and the Earth, you would see. Let me show you exactly what that would look like. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly what that would look like, and you tell me how much good that would do. Okay, so this is representative of 100 million miles. Okay, each one of these blocks is 10 million miles. 10 times 10, 100, obviously, and I broke it down into 1 millions as well. Now, the sun is a little less than 1 million miles in diameter, so the sun would be this big. Okay, now you might ask, where are the moon and the Earth? Well, they're right here. Now, I doubt the resolution in the Hangout is going to resolve that there are two itty bitty little dots right here. Okay, two itty little bitty dots. And when you actually do the lines that are being shown on here, then you got your two itty bitty little dots, and they cross there at those two little itty bitty dots. Do you see the problem with making that graphic trying to make anybody understand anything? I mean, really, how many times are you guys going to come up with this? There's no scale drawings of anything and stuff like that. No, they're supposed to tell you how things work. They're not showing you a photograph, a side view photograph of how this all comes about. Okay, it's just not what they're doing. Okay, so y'all really need to quit bitching about the fact that somebody's just using a graphic to explain something. They're not trying to show. This is not a technical diagram. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, when will you stop insulting your
all
own
the way from the
intelligence?
Oregon coast to South Carolina. But wait, the moon rises in the east and sets in the west.
Okay, now
why is the shadow
he's just
moving
playing out
from
the
west
thing, and he's
to
making
east?
fun of the people
This
who
is
are
Sesame
actually giving
Street,
answers.
Disney, dumbed down world, so that people just have a chuckle instead of really questioning what they're saying.
Wait, what
So
did he say?
that
Dumbed
people
down
just
world?
have a chuckle instead of really questioning what they're
Wait.
Sesame Street, Disney, dumbed down world.
We have to dumb it down, dude, because you don't even get the dumbed down version. I mean, really, you don't even get the dumbed down version.
So that people just have a chuckle instead of really questioning what they're saying. Now, this woman here in the middle, she's representing the Earth, like you saw in the diagram
Right?
earlier in this video, rotating. But then this is representing the moon moving much faster, so that they can prove that the eclipse has to go from west to east. Let's peer in and see the stupidity. So I'll place the Earth here and the moon here so you can see.
I'm not even going to entertain him there. But what do you call it? But basically, she was representing the Earth. She was walking around her fastener, representing the moon. The snide commentary and the honestly ignorant stupidity of one Rich, whatever his name is just mind-boggling. But anyway, Then listen to how many times. Listen to Orbital Mechanics Master here. Listen to him. Watch.
So let's admit it, guys. All that makes sense, doesn't it? The Earth is moving west to east at 1,000 miles an hour. But since the moon is so much further away, 30 diameters of the Earth away, and because it moves once in 24 hours around, or once every 27 days, I should say, that the speed is actually faster. Let's call it 2-to-1 ratio, just for roughness. So it makes
A 2-to-1 ratio is 27-to-1. Really? Y'all caught that, right? I just now caught that. Hold on. Rich says that a 2-to-1 or a 27-to-1 ratio is 2-to-1.
or once every 27 days, I should say, that the speed is actually faster. Let's call it 2-to-1 ratio, just for roughness. So it makes total sense with
2 to
those
1.
orbital mechanics taking place that the moon would go from west to east. And that would cause that shadow to go from west to east, because orbital mechanics are orbital mechanics.
See, orbital mechanics, orbital mechanics.
The moon is moving west to east at so many miles per hour, and it beats the Earth. So what can we say about that? Well, the only thing we can say about that is, well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? So, these clips, by the way, that I've been showing you, they're from my video called The Moon is 70 Miles Wide. And then I followed that up with The Moon is 70
Which is another way of saying he has absolutely no idea how shadows work.
Miles Wide proved, which shows, and I'll put a link up here right now. It shows that there's absolutely no way the moon could be wider than 70 miles, because that's how wide the shadow is. And a shadow cannot be smaller than the blocking object. And if you don't believe that, go out in the sun, take any object, cast it onto something else, and get that shadow to be smaller.
Well, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, I did this one time a while back with Jeranism. Another video that Jeranism never responded to and has absolutely no clue the stupidity of what he was saying. You see, I did this in live form in a couple of different ways. This was a big spherical light out on a patio, right? Big spherical light. And then I had a styrofoam ball, 10-centimeter styrofoam ball, up on a piece of coat hanger. Really scientific. And you see what happens with the shadow here? Okay. It fades off. Now, there's only a part of it, this small little area right here, that is actually solid shadow. That is the umbra. The rest of it is penumbra, which fades off towards the outside as more and more of the light that's being shown becomes visible behind the shadow casting object. This is how that's represented. Okay, it's pretty simple. Yeah. And yeah, that's another point, at least that I'm bringing up here, is that these aren't exactly the same sizes anyway, so whatever. But anyway, this is a pretty simple thing. Now let me go ahead and show you something else that I did. Now, if you don't like that, then what I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit because I know the resolution speed here. And I think I put it out to about, where was it when I actually had the ball up against the door? This was one of the clips that I had actually used in the video. Okay, here is the ball on that exact same coat hanger a little earlier in the day using the actual sun. Okay, now all I'm going to do is I'm moving this away and I walk out to, I think it was about 10 meters. And which, unless I'm mistaken, the scale size was somewhat similar, or the scale shadow was somewhat similar to that, as if that were the moon, and the door was the distance to the Earth. Now, watch what happens as I'm moving out closer to the sun. Now, I tried to keep it somewhat centered on the sun because I was watching it through a viewfinder, but as I got further away from the viewfinder, I couldn't see it as well. But you'll see. Hold on. This is me just still walking away. And what you're noticing here is the shadow, the umbra of the shadow, the center of the shadow is getting smaller. And the faded off area on the outsides is getting wider. It's pretty simple. Okay, so Rich, for you to say that that would actually have to be the same size as the shadow or as the object casting the shadow, well, I'm sorry, man. This is practical demonstration of why you're wrong. And I love the fact that you say that, nobody does their research. I went outside with a styrofoam ball and a coat hanger, dude. I mean, this is not very difficult stuff. Okay, now you see how small this is? Now, where was I before? Right about here. Okay, to here. Do you see the difference? The shadow gets smaller because the sun is larger than the object that I'm casting the shadow on, or casting the shadow with. It's there's nothing very very complicated about this. Okay, so if you're not even going to do simple stuff like this, and you can actually do this through the window of your basement. Hey, thanks, Zero. Appreciate that. Happy Turkey Day to you too. So that pretty much covers that part. There it is. Okay. Let's go a little bit further because
Than the blocking object. You won't be able to do it. So check that out. That
so remember he
destroys the
says
moon.
you won't be
Take
able to
any
do it.
object
Listen.
that there's absolutely no way the moon could be wider than 70 miles because that's how wide the shadow is. And a shadow cannot be smaller than the blocking object. And if you
Cannot be smaller. Just showed you. Okay? Cool.
don't believe that, go out in the sun, take any object, cast it onto something else, and get that shadow to be smaller.
That's what I just showed you. And the shadow gets smaller as you move away, as you separate the shadow, or the shadow casting object from the shadow receiving object.
Than the blocking object. You won't be able to do it. So check that out. That destroys the moon also. So this all makes sense. The moon is going around much faster than the Earth's spin, and so it appears to move west to east. In fact, not just this eclipse, let's look at some other ones. Now,
Okay,
here is
now he's going to go into this, and this is actually a video that I want to do at a later time. Yes, these maps are. Excuse me. Yes, these maps are actually available on NASA's website, and these are showing tracks of future eclipses. They are tracks of future eclipses as predicted by the globe model. Okay, it's they can be predicted. Okay, and their locations can be predicted. How the hell do you know? How the hell do you think that everybody knew to be along that long stripe here? He doesn't have that up here, but be along that long stripe here from Washington to I think it was like North Carolina or something like that. How do you think everybody knew how to be there? There's no flat Earth model, so how did they know how to be there? Because it's modeled out and can be predicted on the globe. It's these are the past ones. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. These are the past ones, but you can actually pull up these things. As a matter of fact, I'll go up on the NASA website here in a second. You can pull these up for like the next I don't know 100 years, 200 years, and stuff like that. Whereas the canon what was it called? The canon of 3,000 years of eclipses or something like that already has these mapped out for like the next 1,500 years or something like that. I mean, you can actually go up there and find this stuff. Is that the same one? Yeah, he only concentrates on the one. Then of course he concentrates on this one. This basically means that he says, "Wow, it's on September 22nd. That's the equinox." Yeah, but the equinox has nothing to do with the moon. The equinox has to do with the sun and its relationship to the axis of the Earth. Has nothing to do with the moon. So with it being up here, whoop-de-doo. Okay, that just means that it's at the height of its elliptical orbit, and the orbit, of course, we all know is about 5 degrees off, which can be measured and predicted. Okay, now I don't know why he doesn't show the future ones, but whatever. And so let's see here. Now, one thing that he doesn't do on here, and I'm just not going to play the rest of this because it's very long. Let's see, which ones are these? This is that same group. This is that same group. Okay. But one thing that he doesn't do on here is show how it works on flat Earth. You see, you might want to make the argument that the moon and the sun are the same size and they're about the same elevation and all this other stuff, but that's quickly debunked by the annular eclipse that happens, which is called the Ring of Fire eclipse. Okay, because the Ring of Fire eclipse shows the sun being larger than the moon. Okay, whereas a full solar eclipse shows the moon being larger than the sun. And now I also did map out the eclipse on flat Earth, and the funny part is the actual 2017 eclipse. The funny part is that there was a place here in Chile somewhere that was actually going to get 2 eclipses on the same day. I mean, it really was. It was going to get 2 eclipses on the same day. It would come up like this, loop around to Hopkinsville, and then loop back down like that. That's how it would work on at least the AE map of flat Earth. Now, if you don't support or do not subscribe to the AE map of the flat Earth, that's fine. But you got to put something out, because all you're doing is nuh-uh the whole thing. Now, if your whole thing has to do with the size of the shadow is also not the same size every time. Okay? There are some times where it's actually in the antumbra, which is beyond actually the size of the shadow, meaning that the umbra that's on the well, I'll actually bring up the other thing here. This is actually a little bit more antumbra, okay, which basically means that from here, if I put my camera right here and I looked at the back of this ball, I would see the exterior ring of this light. Okay, that's called a ring of fire, and that basically means that the light has to be larger. And at that point, there would never be a completely dark portion of that eclipse. There just wouldn't be. Okay. Now, the one other thing I wanted to show, and I went down this road with Antonio Subarats a long time ago, because Antonio Subarats absolutely refused to do a scale model of the moon and the sun and the earth, or excuse me, a scale of the earth and the moon as far as their predicted speeds and their stated speeds and all this, just see what the shadow actually does. Now, this is just the raw graphic right here. Now, what you're seeing here, this blue line, is actually a fixed point on the earth. I think it was over North America. And that's actually the rotation of the earth. Okay, now I'm showing this going. Now, this red line here, this red line is just to show from the center of the earth out to the moon, but this was also the non-scale moon that I ended up calling Hilbonio. Now, you're going to see something here. I'm just going like this. Now, this is actually 2 speed. Okay, now he had it up close, and I had it far away, per the distances that are stated by science and by measurements and by parallax and by backyard astronomers. Okay, now what I did was I put it on here just to show you which direction the shadow was going to be going. Now you're going to see that right here the shadow is on the, should I say, the west side of the we're looking from above the North Pole, on the west side of the line. Now what you're going to see is that it comes back out on the east side. So that means it's traveling from west to east. Now, a close moon, as was stated by Antonio Subarats, the exact opposite effect occurs. In fact, the moon shadow stays there for a very, very long time, even though they are moving at the same angular speed. Not the same radial speed, but at the same angular speed. Okay, now I've done this. Now this one was actually 0.322 days shorter than it was supposed to be. That was a big heated argument, but this was just so I could loop it. But as you can see, it goes by just fine. And that's because this rotates about 1,000 miles an hour, but this moves about 2,000 miles an hour. Okay, pretty simple. Now, if you're having trouble with that, see, I don't mind it. I really don't mind it when people, you know, they have different opinions on how things work and stuff like that. But then you got to model out that opinion. You actually got to show what it is you're claiming. Now, if you're going to deliberately falsify things like, you know, Antonio did back then, where they deliberately falsified many times the distance of the moon to the earth, okay, you're going to end up with different results. And obviously you're going to make an argument out of that, but that's an argument from ignorance because of the fact that you are saying that you're just making shit up, basically. Okay, you're making something up to fill in a gap that you're not even demonstrating properly. Now, there is no flat earth model that this functions on. There is none. Okay, every flat earth model that I had built, and I ultimately resulted to that one, every one of them that I had built, it didn't even completely traverse the United States, the shadow. Okay, it would usually come up around Mexico and exit somewhere around Florida. That's just the angles involved, man. So for for Rich to come out with this bullshit, which is just nothing more than rewarmed bullshit. Okay, Rich, I challenge you to do this, man. First of all, actually, as a matter of fact, I could probably even do it right here, right now, even though I've even shown you videos. Okay, shown you my actual live demonstrations. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can. I think I still have over here on my workbench. Yeah, I do. Okay, now I have the silver ball, the steel balls that I used for the redo of the Cavendish experiment that all flat earthers hated. Let's see. Now I don't think my camera's plugged in right now, is it? No, cable's over here. Let's see what happens here. Drop that in. Make noise. Yep. Okay, that's gonna make noise. And then I'll grab this big white box here. Thank you, Wolfie. Oh, let's see here. Grab this big white box here. And let's see if I can do this without finding some way to destroy everything that I have here. So I'm going to put a box down here. Turn this light on right here. That. And yeah, but how am I going to actually do this? Because you're going to have my fingers all up on this shit. No. I'm trying, folks. Hold on a second. Now, let's see here. Yes, I did replicate it, Gleam. Did you ever build that model with your 28 degrees of increase or 26 degrees of increasing horizon? No, you didn't. So hush. Actually, as a matter of fact, hey, Geo. Kannst mal machen, was du willst. Yep, ha ha ha, 26 degrees. That was your claim. All right, let's see here. Ban me now, Dave Hinkle. So Earth is a wet, spinning oblate spheroid zipping through the vacuum in several directions. That's a pretty weird way to say that. Oh, 28 degrees. Oh, my bad. 28 degrees. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it myself. I'll just shut you up for a little while. All right. Let's see if I can do this here. So what I'm about to do here, if I can ever get this shit together here, I want to actually show the thing that he says is impossible right here on camera. And I just need something to prop that up on. Just something, doesn't matter what. So I need it to be propped up off the floor a little bit. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Y'all gonna have to excuse me for a second here. My workbench got a lot of weird shit around on it. You know, all that pagan stuff and all that Freemason stuff. You know. What if I get that balance on there? It won't work. Damn it. Well, I don't know if this is really going to do it very well, but we get the point. Okay, so where's my hangout window? There's my hangout window, and we'll turn the camera on. We'll stop screen sharing. Oops, where's my camera? Oh, there we go. Tape. So, let's see what happens here. Now I'm just looking down at my floor here. Oh wow, this is all kinds of wonky. What the hell? I'm gonna have to get out the tool set here. Webcam controller. Webcam controller. Come on. Do something. Oh, it's waiting for my stored on my old drive. Come on, software. There we go. Oops. Let's see here. Is it still rolling with it? Doesn't appear to be. Why is this being such a snot? I can't get one thing to work around the damn computer today. Is everybody seeing my camera at least? He has socks on, makes it not gay. Okay, that's whatever. There we go. There's the autofocus. All right. Sorry, I had to go all the way into the software for this. Now, hold on. Now, basically, all I have here is I got this cute light. It's kind of a little dome light. Come on, focus. I think I'm too close to it. Well, I got this little dome light that is looking extremely bright on here, but it's really not. Okay, and then I have one of those steel balls that I was using. Okay, 1.5 inch wide bulb. Now you see where that is right there, where that shadow is right there. Okay, inside of that shadow right there, you would not see the light. Now I'm just going to move it closer, and guess what? Now the shadow of the light right there in the middle. Okay, this is all faded, which means that in all places here, you can actually see a portion of the light from back here. That's why it's faded off. Okay, pretty simple. Your team minions are timing me out. Yeah, because I told them to, because you haven't said anything of value. When you come back here, as a matter of fact, you know what? When you come back here, Gleam, I want you to show me a diagram showing your 28 degrees of increase of altitude, increasing angle to the horizon at 3 miles away from the observer. Till such time, I am actually going to keep on having you put into timeout. Cool? And Rich, you said it can't be done. Guess what? The shadow is actually smaller right there in the middle. Okay? There's a difference between the umbra and penumbra. You need to learn about that. You can actually see that effect right here. You can see where the umbra and the penumbra pan off from each other. Okay? Easy enough? So, turn this camera back off. Go back into screen sharing. Over here. Share. Present to everyone. Alright, so that's all I was going to do today, guys. I just wanted to show that Rich has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to shadows. He has no idea what he's talking about when he's talking about the west to east movement, or the perceived west to east movement when it comes down to the eclipse. Even though he himself stated that the eclipse, the moon chases the sun, which identifies two different speeds of the both moon and sun. And yet forgets about it when they actually find each other. So, Rich, you're full of shit. You can keep your little stupid little snide remarks that you have up in your comments of your videos and stuff. You can keep all that because you're full of shit. Okay, this is stuff that you can demonstrate. I just demonstrated it right down here below my desk chair. Okay, didn't even have to go outside, even though I showed you the stuff that I did outside as well. Okay, it's pretty easy to do. Okay, larger, smaller, smaller. And if anybody wants to see the video that this actually came out on, it was I think I called it the Gerunumbra because it had to do with the umbra and penumbra thing here. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and bring it up just so y'all can see this. And Rich, feel free to come by because you're not blocked on my channel, even though you blocked me on your channel because I can show you the things that you're doing wrong. Let's see here. Gerunumbra. Yeah, I was just looking for that recently. Let's see. Oops. There's oh, go and search for it. There we go. Where's it at? Huh? Where'd it go? Where'd my video go? Maybe hold on. It would have been under Eclipse. This is where that model came from, was when I was answering Subarats. Gerunism can't shadow. It's called the Gerunumbra conundrum. And it's not the first time I've done a video on this. And if anybody wants to watch it, you can go right ahead. I did it. It's 15 minutes long because there's a lot of great information in it, including the individual and itemized debunking of all the claims that were in here by. See, look, all the claims that were in there from Gerunism, and so I just figured I'd go ahead and throw this up here. This was another version of that that video that I was just showing you there. Yeah, go ahead and take a look at that if you want to. And but that was out 2016, and which is just another proof that people like Rich don't actually do their research, because my stuff even says flat Earth in the beginning of it. Okay, so it looks like you're not even looking, dude. Okay. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed my kind of slung together presentation. I was not looking at, making a produced video out of this because I've done it a couple of times. And let's see, who else do we got here? Oh, he's not back yet? Oh well, he'll be all right. Ta-da! Look, he's back. You're either angry or nervous. I have shown it. No, you haven't. As a matter of fact, hold on. Go to channel. Lean. What did you show here? Where's your 26 or 28 degree thing? Where's your 28 degree video? I don't see anything here that says 28 degrees. I see perspective, hidden wheels. Yeah, whatever that is. Let's see. I'll even watch it. Come on. Okay, what are you showing? You're going up and down. Oh no. What are we showing? Okay, I'm waiting for something amazing here. I'm waiting to see the 28 degrees of increase, or the 28 degrees angled up from somebody's feet. See, that doesn't even look like 28 degrees there. So what am I looking for, man? Hurry up. Showing the blockage of half the car wheel. Do you walk down to the end of the street and show if there's anything going on down there? Do you have a laser going across the surface of this to tell me that it's perfectly flat? All those things you would be expecting of me, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that if I were to put this video up, oh, that was it? Really? Are you serious? I agree with Admiral Crunch here. Flat Earth science. Ha! Totally agree. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to put thanks for supporting the globe. You done a model with 28 degrees? No, we modeled it for you and showed you how stupid it is. So, okay, I promise a nickel to the first one of the people with a wrench in my chat to knock out Gleam, because Gleam hasn't showed me anything. Nope, sorry, you didn't use globe math on this at all. Does NASA pay good, Sly? I don't know. I wish I knew. But I'll tell you this, if I got paid to do this, it would be the easiest money I ever made. Okay, well, I guess my wrench guys are gone right now, so I'll do it myself. Ugh. So that's all we got for today, ladies and gents. And everybody, if you ever see Gleam in anybody's chats or anything like that, you go ahead and make sure you ask him for the model of the 28 degrees plus angle coming up from your feet to go into the horizon. Okay? And then make sure you extend that out to about 3 miles, 4 miles, something like that. Bo, you don't? Oh, shit. I thought you did. Actually, as a matter of fact, I got 2 of them going on here. There you go, Bo. And then playtime, if you promise to play nice. I don't always have my my buds up at the same time as I am. And then, hold on a second, I got another one coming up. As soon as I can figure out. Well, Mr. Done. Alright. Phuket word, yeah. He's a, yeah. I'm just not even gonna go there, man. Okay, I think Bo with a spammer. Well, guess what? Bo's a vet. I trust vets. Let's see here. Where is scrolling up looking for somebody? Somebody else I would also trust to do the right thing on my channel. Hold on a second, guys. Wow, it didn't go all the way back. What the fuck? Oh well, I guess we'll just have to get on the next go round. Yeah, but Jared, you're already a mod on my shit. You're just on the other side. You're not in that count right now. Yeah, make Gleam a mod. Yeah, that'll go over great. Okay, well, anyway, I gotta head on out. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today, and everybody make sure you swing by and give a pleasant and non-insulting hello to Mr. Thrive and Survive. And there she is. And and let him know that I debunked all of his claims on the floor of my below my workbench here. Okay? So, ladies and gents, I hope you guys all have a pleasant rest of your day. And for those of you in the States, happy Turkey Day. Eat a lot, fall asleep in front of the TV watching a boring football game. Okay? Y'all have yourselves a nice day.